Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and streak the agar plates that we had just made. I've got my inoculation loop, I got my petri dish with the agar media, I've got my yeast vessel, and I have some Starsan sanitizer. I've already sanitized this entire area. I've turned off every vent, air conditioner, windows are closed. There's no drafts coming through here that might possibly cause any excess airflow to, go by the petri dish and possibly, deposit bacteria, mold, spores, or anything else that could end up growing. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to first, I've already sanitized the entire area. I've sanitized my hands, but I will go ahead and quickly do that again. Okay, so we're going to first start and go ahead, we're going to heat up the inoculation loop. We're going to get it bright red, should be flaming. Don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but the loop should be bright red. I'm going to do some of the stem as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my yeast. I'm going to take the top off. I'm going to hold it in my pinky and ring finger while I dip this in here and get the sample. And you always want to work close to the flames, keeping that updraft, which will cause any deposits to possibly fall onto the plate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick up the plate, but only enough that I can fit the loop in there and make my streaks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up just enough that I can get in here. And I'm going to just start at the back corner and I'm just going to streak back and forth. Okay, so that's the first section. Now I'm going to heat up my loop again, and I'm going to turn it. And this time I want to streak at a 90-degree angle from what I just did. And I'm not going to dip the inoculation loop back in the yeast. What I'm going to try and do is thin out what I just streaked. So eventually, as I keep streaking in the different sections or quadrants of the plate, I am thinning out the yeast, and I'll eventually get down to single cell colonies or pure cultures, which I will be able to use later on and store in the slants. So the inoculation loop is now heated up, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the exact same thing. This time I'm going to dip the loop in the agar just to cool it down, and then I'm going to streak across. I'm just going to heat that up one more time. Okay, pick it up, and this time I'm going to go this way. And in doing this, I want to use the first couple of strokes to pull from the previous quadrant that I yeast, and I want to be pulling some of that yeast across into the new area of the petri dish. And I want to do that each time. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to streak 90 degrees from that one, but the first few are going to pull from the section that I just streaked, and then I'm going to do a couple of scrapes in areas that are not already streaked. Therefore, hopefully thinning out the colonies. Okay. Dip that in there, cool it down. Okay, and I'm going to do one more. That last one seemed pretty good, but I'm going to actually maybe pull one more because I kind of had a lot of yeast when I first stuck the loop in the yeast file. I had quite a bit on there, so I want to try to thin out a little bit more. So I'm going to turn it a little bit more again. I got one little area that I haven't streaked. And actually let this cool down. I'll touch this right in the center. Okay. And there we go. There we have it. 4 sections. First section beginning with the yeast from the vial. The other 3 sections continually thinning out the yeast from the section before. So the further I go along, I'll end up with single cell colonies, which will be used for slants.